What if your life is not a random sequence of events, but a myth unfolding from within? What if the path you walk, the people you meet, the patterns you repeat, are all guided by a story older than you? Not one you wrote, but one you were born into. This is the radical idea Carl Jung offered the world, that beneath your conscious mind, beneath your personal history, there lies a hidden blueprint. And that blueprint is written in the language of archetypes. You've heard the names the hero, the mother, the wise old man, the trickster, the shadow. But these are not just characters in stories. According to Jung, they are the universal patterns of the human psyche. Symbols that shape our thoughts, behaviors, and desires. He called them archetypes, timeless inherited forms that live in what he named the collective unconscious. This is not memory, this is not experience, this is structure, psychological DNA. From the moment you are born, these archetypes begin to stir. They shape your instincts, your dreams, your fears, your longings. They appear in fairy tales, religions, movies, nightmares, across cultures and time. Why? Because they come from within us, not as individual, but as a species. Jung believed that just as our bodies evolved over millennia, so did our inner worlds. And just as we inherit instincts for survival, we inherit archetypes for meaning. They are psychological organs, invisible but vital. You cannot see them, but you live through them. Think of a child, drawn to stories of heroes and villains. Why? Because the hero archetype already lives inside. The child is not learning a story. They're remembering one, a story their soul already knows. And so are you. Have you ever felt drawn to a certain kind of movie, myth, or dream? Maybe you always root for the rebel, or you fear the outcast. Maybe you dream of falling, or running, or being chased by something you don't understand. These are not just fantasies. They are symbolic expressions of your inner world. Jung taught that dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. And in dreams, the archetypes speak. In images, not logic. But here's the mystery. You don't choose your archetypes. They choose you. They rise from the depths at different times in life. The mother may rise when you seek care, or resist it. The hero appears when you must grow, when life calls you to a challenge. The trickster disrupts your plans, forcing you to adapt, to laugh, or to break the rules. And the shadow waits, always, in the places you dare not look. These patterns are ancient. They live in myths and religions across the world. Prometheus and Lucifer, both tricksters. Odin and Merlin, wise old men. The Buddha, an image of self-realization. Joan of Arc, the hero. Your favorite protagonist is an echo of you. But here's the catch. If you don't recognize the archetypes guiding you, they will rule your life unconsciously. You will become the puppet of a story you don't understand, and you'll call it fate. Jung said, the unconscious is not just evil by nature, it is also the source of the highest good. In other words, these inner forces are not here to harm you. They are here to awaken you, to push you toward wholeness, to guide you, if you will listen. The hero of your story is not a fiction writer's invention. It's a force that awakens when you face a challenge. Imagine the moment you step into the unknown. Your heart pounds, your mind trembles. Yet something inside you sparks, a call to courage. That spark is the hero archetype. It lives in every culture, Perseus slaying Medusa, Mulan stepping onto the battlefield, Luke Skywalker leaving Tatooine. When life demands more of you, a career change, a crisis, a personal loss, the hero stirs within. But the hero is not alone. Right beside it dances the trickster, the mischievous shapeshifter who upends your plans. The trickster appears as irony, humor, disruption. It slips on the banana peel of your expectations, showing you the absurdity of rigidity. In myth, Loki fools gods, Anansi weaves webs of cunning, Coyote outsmarts but also exposes vulnerability. Your inner trickster may be the sarcastic voice in your head, the unexpected coincidence that derails your schedule, or that sudden laugh when you most need release. Why does the trickster matter? Because change is never linear. Growth requires breaking, and the trickster breaks patterns. Every stuck habit, every rigid belief needs comic relief to crack open. The trickster reminds you, life is playful, wild, unpredictable. Embrace the chaos and new potential emerges. Let's turn to the mother archetype, the source of nurture, care, and unconditional love. In dreams, you might see a great ocean, a forest, or a womb. These images carry the mother's promise of safety and growth. She teaches you self-compassion. But beware the devouring mother, the version of care that smothers and controls. She can trap you in dependency. Integration means restoring balance, receive care when needed, then step forth into independence. And then there is the wise old man, the keeper of timeless wisdom, intuition, and guidance. He appears as a mentor in stories, Gandalf, Dumbledore, Yoda. In your psyche, he may speak as a sudden insight, an inner voice guiding you toward authenticity. When you feel lost, listen for his counsel. He reveals the map of your soul's journey. All these archetypes dwell in the collective unconscious, a vast reservoir of images and symbols shared by all humanity. They connect you to ancestors and future generations, to myths that predate language, to rituals that echo in your blood. This hidden blueprint moves through you, shaping the shapeshifters, heroes, and sages on your inner stage. But here's the paradox. Archetypes are universal, yet your personal expression of them is unique. Your hero's journey is different from anyone else's. Your trickster's mischief dances to your own rhythm. Your mother and wise man speak in your language. By discovering your personal archetypal cast, you uncover the meaning woven into your life. How can you access this blueprint? Dream journaling. Record your nightly visions. Note repeating figures. Are you running from a beast? Rescued by a guide? These figures are archetypal messengers. Active imagination. Engage in dialogue with imagined characters. Let the trickster speak. Let the wise man counsel you, then write or draw their messages. Myth and story exploration. Read world myths. Which heroine or hero resonates? Whose journey mirrors your own struggles? Creative expression. Paint, write poetry, improvise movement. Allow archetypes to express through your body and mind. As you deepen your relationship with these inner figures, you begin to see your life as a living myth, an unfolding drama where you are both actor and playwright. You no longer chase random goals. You follow the story your soul is telling, and that story is your path to meaning. Your life is not flat. It unfolds in cycles, like seasons, like stories. At each turning point, a new archetype takes the stage. Sometimes you are the innocent, open-hearted, trusting, unshaped. Sometimes the orphan, wounded, lost, and searching for belonging. Other times the hero, battling fears and external chaos. And eventually the sage, turning inward to distill meaning from experience. Jung believed these transitions are not accidental. They are calls from the unconscious, invitations to grow. Think of your life in chapters. In youth, the innocent leads, curious, idealistic, blind to shadow. But as suffering arrives, the orphan awakens, the child who realizes the world is not always kind. Pain is the portal. It strips illusions. It births resilience. And then comes the seeker, the archetype that propels you out of the familiar, that whispers, there must be more. You leave home, Maybe not physically, but psychologically. You question your beliefs. You defy old roles. This is not rebellion, it is initiation. The hero emerges next. Not the victorious one, but the one who dares to begin. You face your trials, heartbreak, failure, death of identity. You fall, you rise, you transform. But here's the twist. The hero's true test is not conquest, it is surrender. You must descend into the unknown, to be often alone, and meet what you fear most, your shadow, your doubts, your forgotten self. Only then can you rise as someone whole. Later in life, new archetypes awaken. The caregiver rises, the one who serves, mentors, nurtures. Then the destroyer appears, not to ruin, but to clear. This is the time of loss, endings, illness, release. It is terrifying, but sacred. Because only through the destroyer can you become the creator, the one who gives life not from ego, but from essence. Eventually, if you listen closely, the sage will speak. The sage does not offer answers, but questions that burn. Who are you beneath your roles? What was all this for? What remains when there's nothing left to prove? This is the time of distillation, of clarity, of quiet power. The sage knows that meaning was never in the external prize, but in the depth of your becoming. When you live unconsciously, these archetypes rule you, they possess you. You become stuck in the victim, addicted to the hero, afraid of the destroyer, resisting the sage. But when you see the pattern, you step into authorship. You can say, "Ah, the seeker has come. It's time to explore again." Or, "The destroyer is near. I must let go to make space for new life." You begin to flow with the myth, not fight it. And perhaps the greatest revelation is this: your meaning is not something to invent, but something to remember. It lives in your dreams, your symbols, your longings. It's etched in your wounds, in your gifts, in your contradictions. You don't find meaning by chasing goals. You uncover it by decoding the language of your soul. And that language is archetypal. In the end, all archetypes point toward one thing. Not power, not perfection, not performance, but wholeness. Jung called it the self, not the ego, not your personality, but your total being. The self is what you are beneath all masks. It is the union of opposites, light and shadow, chaos and order, wild and wise, and it has always been with you, waiting patiently beneath the noise. But most people never meet the self. They live as fragments, identifying with the hero, chained to the orphan, afraid of the destroyer, worshipping the persona. Jung warned, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. But once you do, once you make that turn inward, everything changes. You no longer ask, who should I be? You ask, who am I already beneath it all? And you begin to remember. That dream that haunted you, was a message. That fear that chased you was protection. That failure that broke you, was guidance in disguise. The blueprint was there the whole time. Not in your resume, not in your social media feed, not in your bank account, but in the myth you were born to live. When you align with it, life stops feeling like performance. It becomes expression. You're not striving, you're unfolding. So how do you live mythically? Not by escaping the world, but by meeting its soul first. By asking, what is this moment asking of me? What archetype is present here? What lesson is the soul offering? And then listening, not with logic, but with your whole being. Jung never offered easy answers. He gave us maps, drawn from dreams and symbols. But the path, that's yours to walk. No one can tell you what your myth is, but you can feel when you're on it. You feel aligned, alive, afraid but clear. You feel real. And that's the miracle of the archetypal path. It doesn't promise comfort, it promises truth. Not a perfect life, but a meaningful one. Not a life free of pain, but one where even pain serves purpose. You are not broken. You are not random. You are a living story, ancient, sacred, and still being written. So ask yourself, what story have I been living? Whose voice have I been obeying? What is my soul trying to become? And if the answers terrify you, good. It means you're close to the edge where the mask falls and the real journey begins.